How are you guys today? I hope you are surviving these lunar eclipse energies. Last week I came on and talked a little bit about protecting your energy and calling back your power. Today I wanted to expand on that just a little bit and talk about two other things that are important whenever you start to work with energy. The first is grounding your energy and what that means. And then the second is channeling your energy. So a lot of times when you're new to this spiritual awakening, you will hear people say ground your energy, and or other phrases are like drop in. So I want to try to, again, demystify this just a little bit. Grounding your energy is a very basic principle, which means that you're going to kind of dump all the excess energy that you're carrying in your body into the earth. This is important universally speaking. If you think about like your cable, any electrical in your home, there are three wires. There's your hot, like your positive, your negative, and your neutral. And that green wire, whenever you're doing any work with electrical, is your grounding cable or the grounding wire. And that's really important because if there's ever a surge of energy, it takes that and it grounds it. So it literally touches the ground. So that wire at some point is going to connect to the earth, so that if you get struck by lightning, all that overage gets put into the earth, right? We are electrical beings. We have an energy, we have a frequency, and just in the same way that you can get shocked, or you can get this charge, like static electricity. If you ground regularly, then you will have a lot more peace in your body, and that will translate into your life. So when someone's new to spirituality or this awakening concept, there's often this feeling of franticness, or just maybe feelings of loss, or just like you don't know quite what you're doing, like you're sort of all over the place, right? That's when we would recommend that you ground. So as a spiritual practitioner, I need to ground on a regular basis, and there are multiple ways to do that. The simplest, easiest, cheapest way to ground your energy is to take off your shoes, take off your socks, and I want you to go and stand on the ground outside. Not the concrete, not your wooden deck, the actual physical grass, sand, dirt, whatever outside looks like for you. It's like you have to put your skin in contact with the earth. I will ask people sometimes, when is the last time, and think about this for yourself, when is the last time that your naked skin, your hands, your feet, your back, when's the last time that your naked skin has touched the earth? Not a man-made construct that has been placed on top of the earth, but the earth itself. And for a lot of people, it's been a really, really long time, or it doesn't happen nearly often enough. So it's starting to rain where I am. I love that. So the easiest, simplest way to ground your energy is to take off your shoes, take off your socks, bare feet, put them on the earth. That is grounding right there. Now let's say for a moment that you're living inner city. There's concrete everywhere. There's metal. There's just not the space or the direct access to, or maybe you're in quarantine and you're not living someplace where you have a backyard like I do and can put your feet on the ground. There are some other ways that you can do this. So one of my first experiences with grounding that wasn't the earth is a slab of petrified wood. So this was a rock, essentially, that was once part of the earth, and I put my hands on that slab to ground. And that worked out really, really well. I honestly felt like a dump of energy right then in that moment. It's getting kind of heavy now. So use a stone that is grounding, and most of the time those stones are going to be something like, well, I already mentioned petrified wood, but it's going to be generally a black or dark gray stone. So black tourmaline, jet, shungite, obsidian, black obsidian. If you just go and scan your New Age store, it's a black rock. That's kind of a crystal 101. And then obviously I have a couple of oils that I will use to ground my energy as well. And both the crystals and the oils, you know, those things come from the earth. So you're still looking to connect to the earth in some way. And the grounding oils that I have used include Valor and frankincense. Okay. Those are, like Valor, I would just take a couple of drops. And put them on the bottoms of your feet. So if you're able to, put the left hand to the sole of your left foot and the right hand to the sole of your right foot, and just hold them there. And this is one way to ground your energy. Frankincense, you would put a couple drops in your hands. You can roll it, you put a roller top on it and roll it down your spine, put it on the bottoms of your feet. Inhale. You will know when you feel grounded, when you focus, like when you're using your oils, when you feel the sense of release or relief, where there's a sigh or a yawn or some physical sign that you've let go. And obviously breathe it in. Love me some frankincense too, so I'm just going to use this also. Comes out really fast. You know, maybe over the heart, just where you feel called. There's no formula that's like, this is the only place that you can put it and then ground your energy. It doesn't work like that. It's different for every person because every person's needs are different. These are 2 oils that I use all the time that also come in the premium starter kit, so that's why I choose those. There is a blend called Grounding. There are, pretty much pick a tree. Any tree oil is going to be very grounding. A cedarwood, super nice. Northern Lights black spruce. I don't use Idaho blue spruce for grounding specifically. I'm going to talk about channeling in just a minute. But if you have a tree oil, pine, like pick a tree. And almost always that tree is going to help you ground. So those are 3 ways that you can ground your energy that are very accessible and very efficient. It does not take that much time. I've already grounded myself like twice since being on this video. I'm sitting on concrete right now, otherwise I could be constantly grounding. And I would say aim, if you can, you know, ground once a day, go outside and just put your feet on the ground for 5 or 10 minutes. And that's just gonna help keep your electrical balance in your system healthy. Okay. Second thing that I want to talk about is channeling your energy. This is something that happens, and I talked about this in my last video when it came with like calling back your power. So every interaction that you're having with someone, you're having an energetic exchange. And so when you start working with energy in an intentional way, you want to make sure that the energy that is in that energetic exchange isn't solely your energy. And what I mean by that is that we have, let's look at this like a battery. If I was a battery and I was constantly putting charge out to someone else, eventually my battery is going to go dead, right? So that isn't a very efficient way, because I'm going to get super tired. I'm going to get super drained because I'm using my energy to help another person. So how do you use your energy to help another person without feeling completely drained at the end of the day? This is where you're going to channel source energy. You're going to channel God. You're going to channel Mother Earth, whatever, you know, universal energy, spirit, whatever word you want to put on that. It makes no difference, because we're talking about the source of all that is. The all that isness is what you're channeling. So going back to my battery metaphor for a minute, if my battery is plugged in and charging at the same time that the output is going, then there's a transference of energy rather than a one-way. Like, I am having my cup filled at the same time that I am giving energy away or healing someone. So the most common, I would say, energy work that people have heard about is Reiki. This is becoming much more mainstream, and there are Reiki classes, I feel like, all over the place, and they're even using it in hospitals now. So Reiki energy is basically hands-on healing. If you are more of a religious-minded person, this is where the laying of the hands comes on. And you can feel yourself, your cup, be filled through the laying on of hands of that other person. So if I'm the Reiki practitioner, which I am attuned to Reiki 1 and 2, and I do use Reiki energy in my healing practices, the difference is that I don't generally put my hands on people because I'm playing my singing bowl at the same time. So energy can be transferred without the laying of the hands, and this is an energetic exchange too. So I want you to imagine from the crown of your head this pillar that comes up, or a funnel, or a white lotus flower, or just some sort of thing that sits on top of your head, and source energy comes in through that. All right, so the energy comes from above, goes down into my column in my spiritual body, and it comes out my hand. So it goes, the white light comes in the top of my head, down my arms, and out my hands. So it is not my energy that I am giving away. I am having my cup filled. I am actually healing myself prior to passing any of that energy onto you. An alternate way to do the same thing is to pull this energy up from the earth. Okay? So instead of calling it in from above, you would call it in from below. So the power and the healing power of Mother Earth, which we talked about in grounding, that energy is going to come in through the bottoms of your feet, and it's going to travel up your legs. And I'm getting chilled all over my body right now. And it's going to go up your tail, up your whole spinal column. All right, and then it's going to come down your arms and out your hands. Okay, so again, I'm channeling the energy of Mother Earth versus giving away my energy and feeling completely depleted at the end of the day. So if you are a practitioner, whether it's through energy work or more conventional, my father is a chiropractor, and I found myself having to even explain to him, like, when you put, he's a joker, guys. When he's done with the patient, he will put his hands on their back in a very lighthearted, comical way, and he will shake him and say, "Be healed." And it's very lighthearted and funny, and it elicits a laugh from people, and it did for me. But I said, do you realize that when you're doing that, you are actually transferring your energy into that person? You are actually energetically healing that person. You've already given them adjustment, so your physical stuff is taken care of. You've talked to them, you've given them love, you've given them space and time, you've helped them with their emotional and mental needs, and now energetically you've had your hands on them and you're healing them in that manner too. And I don't think at that point that it had ever occurred to him, because at the end, I mean, he has this ability to control his schedule because he's, a physician, and he controls the office hours. So from the time that I was very young, he set his hours for the office from 8 until noon, and then they would close for 2 hours from 12 until 2, and then they would reopen at 2 and stay open until 6. And that was so that my dad could go home and take a nap in the middle of the day. And he's always had to take naps in the middle of the day my entire life. And I feel like, now that I know more about what I know, is that a lot of the energy that he was putting into his practice was coming straight from him, and he had to kind of shut down and reboot middle of the day so that he could go through and power through the last 4 hours of the day. And then he would still come home super worn down. And I don't say this in a way of criticizing. I'm just using that as an example of someone that works with the public on a day-to-day basis, who did take time out for his self-care, but had the channeling been a little bit more intentional, it's still a physically demanding job, being a chiropractor, because you're physically manipulating people's spines. But that could have helped more with that energy level. So if you work with the public, work a little more on consciously channeling source energy, whether it's from above or from below, out and down your hands. And you can imagine this as white light, as red light. There's no formula. What you're going to hear from me a lot is that this is different for everyone. The culture that you come from, the beliefs spiritually that you hold, the just experiences that you have are going to shape you, and that's good, because you are going to resonate with the people that need you the most. So do your thing, ground your energy, take your shoes and socks off, go stand barefooted on the ground, get yourself some grounding stones, get yourself some, oh, I didn't talk about the oils for channeling. So when I do my sound healings, I start with Valor. We're going to start with grounding. This also balances. So we're going to start with Valor on the bottoms of your feet or on your wrist, just depending on what skin I have accessible at that point in time. You know, if I don't know you, I may not be rubbing up on your feet. And then Idaho Blue Spruce, which I have like literally like a drop left, and I just ordered another bottle, hoping that it comes soon. But you know, just a drop, maybe. It's coming. Yeah, well, it's empty. So, drop on the crown. Idaho Blue Spruce has the highest frequency of any oil that is known, and I think it's 512 megahertz. Super, super high vibe. Valor, I think it's 47. And the reason this one is lower, but still works so well, is because it is designed to work more with the physical body rather than the esoteric part of you. Where this is really, I don't use that Idaho Blue Spruce for grounding. I use it to help raise my vibration, and it helps channel and connect to whatever source I'm choosing. And then of course my beloved Egyptian gold. This is my goddess oil, my Isis oil, my Mother Mary oil. This is the one that I have been using like a lot all this month, because I'm gonna get another bottle for free, and I don't feel quite so reserved because it's out of stock, that I feel like I can actually use it a little bit more. But it feels like that I'm being wrapped in the arms of God, like wings of love. And so those oils are ones that I will use in my channeling sessions or my sound healing sessions, depending on what energy work we're going to do. And then the other oil that is coming for free this month is Envision. And again, I have like 2 drops left. But what you can do here, and this will really help if you are more of a third eye type of person, as far as you're going to be visually channeling, and just rub it across your forehead. You can put it on your temples, like, you know, like so. This is going to help bring clarity to meditations, clarity to any visions that you may have. If you are working on visualizing your future, setting goals, making plans. If you're a planner, I'm a planner. I have a planner. My sister has many planners. And so that helps us set goals and helps us achieve goals. And so Envision is a really, really good one for that. Also good one if you need clarity around that, and and I'll do a whole nother one here, like on meditation, and maybe next week. But Magnify Your Purpose is another really, really good oil for that. That one came in one of my first orders, and I feel like Magnify Your Purpose really helps you get clarity on what you're doing here on this earth. So I love you all. Thank you for spending this time with me, and I see you guys next week with another Spirituality 101 class.